Hello everybody, Toreno here, and welcome to the patch 1.49 dev server. This is actually the second opening of the dev server. I actually missed the one yesterday, because it was something like 10 till 2 when it's usually 7 till 11. I was at uni. I was actually doing the patch 1.49 roundup series, and I just saw an announcement that the server has been opened. For first things first, there does seem to have been some UI changes. Arcade battles and all that's been put in this little box here. But I don't think that was. I mean, it's at the top, but I don't know if it was in the box bit before. We've also got the online players moved to over here, and an FPS counter down at the bottom. So that's some minor UI changes, but we're all here to look at the new aircraft and tanks. Now we'll start off with the Americans, and the one that everyone's looking forward to is the AD2 Sky Raider. So we'll just let that load up. Looking at the stats, it's got 220mm cannons, max speed of 333 miles per hour. The rest I'm not going to read out because they're usually quite, just I don't know if they're placeholders or if they're just not very accurate, but they always tend to be completely wrong. But here's the Sky Raider. So let's look at armour. It's got the standard armour around the front windscreen, 40mm, bit of back armour. Got a bit of armour around the engine area. Only 9mm thick, not really going to help you. That's all protects the engine. So let's look at the modifications. So your normal 20mm belt, and it can carry an awful lot of rockets and bombs. Two 300mm and 12 127mm. Well, rounding up, so 14 rockets in total there. Another 14 rockets, and the one 2,000-pound bomb. Sorry. And again some more. Another 14 rockets. 12 rockets and 2 bombs. I'm not very good at reading this today. One 2,000-pound bomb, two 500-pound bombs, and 12 rockets. 12 rockets and 2,000-pound bombs. One 2,000-pound bomb, one 2,000-pound bomb, two 1,000-pound bombs, and 12 rockets, and 12 rockets and a torpedo. So quite a lot of weaponry there. I don't think I'll be able to test fly it, unfortunately. Oh, that's come up. Right, edit that out. I had to edit something out that popped up on the screen. I can't test fly it, unfortunately. So, I'm afraid I can't actually show you it test flying. Now, the patch note says there's two P-51s. A P-51A, which I assume is this one, but it also mentions a D-10, which I can't see on here. There it is. It's a premium. Sorry, I couldn't find it at first. We'll look at the premium first. Now, it says it comes in a bundle. I don't know if this is one you have to buy, or if it's, if we go to the item shop and battle trophies, is it in here somewhere? I can't see it there. They did announce there was new battle trophies, so I was wondering if maybe it was unique to that or something. But let's look at the armour again. Again, standard as with the normal P-51, bit of armour around the engine and for the pilot. There's the pilot and all that. Actually, I don't usually show the pilot there, I don't think. I could be wrong, but speed 442 miles an hour, 6 Browning machine guns. Let's look at the, if we can find it, armament, loadout. Basically the same as the normal P-51, I think. 1,000-pound bombs, rockets, and 100-pound bombs. More rockets on their own, bombs on their own. All that sort of stuff. It's got a little bit of writing, Daddy's Girl on the side, I think. And it's got these sticky up bits. I don't know if they're there on the normal P-51. Could be wrong. What was the other one? And the P-51, I assume this is a P-51A. It's got Hispano cannons. I believe the originals were actually built for Britain. I could be wrong. So we'll quickly look at the P-51. I assume this is a P-51A. Got a more conventional cockpit. I don't think it's got the teardrop cockpit. Armour, again, the same as usual. Loadout. Doesn't carry any bombs. I'm just checking if it is actually got a different cockpit. Here's my P-51D5. Yeah, it's got a different cockpit. So, yeah, it's got a different cockpit. I didn't actually look at the speed, did I? This is 442, and the A is 392, so about 50 miles per hour slower. Again, the rest of the stats are usually quite misleading, but rate of climb 18 meters a second for the D5, 13 for the A, D5's got a turn time of 20 seconds. The A's got one of 20 seconds as well. Oh, so a bit slower and all that, but it's got better armour. Now the Germans have got this, the B1 late, basically a Bf 109B with two 7.92mm machine guns. So I'll preview that quick. Let that load up. 289 miles an hour, 22 seconds turn time, rate of climb 10 meters, 10.2 meters. Sorry, no armor. So it is kind of bare bones, this aircraft. Remember, it's a very early production model, very early, so like 1936 or something. Doesn't carry any bombs. Doesn't even have any different ammo. I don't think. Just default. Does it usually show that when it's one you haven't unlocked yet? Go to the 109A4. Yeah, so it has just got default. It's not that because I haven't bought it. Unless they just haven't added it in yet. I don't know. The other aircraft that everyone seems to be looking at is the C3. So two 20mm cannons, a bunch of bombs, no armour, and you've got the 4 engines. Now again, I can't test fly this one because I haven't unlocked it yet. Bomb load seems to be the same. 500 kilogram bombs, 1000 kilogram, 1000 plus 250 kilogram bombs. Nice looking aircraft. You can see the cockpit's all done up, which they did that with the other one as well, with last patch, I believe. Now the HS219 got a cockpit, so we'll really quickly test that. Just show you what the cockpit looks like. So here's the cockpit. You can see that really thick glass at the front. Can't really turn much. Oh, there we go. It's quite an enclosed cockpit. Got all these instruments down here, so quite a bit under the glass. You have to sort of zoom in to look at them properly. They've got dials on the engines. I don't know if that's normal. Do they have them? Okay, so if your engine gets damaged, you can just take a look over and see how it's doing. Lots of different other buttons. I don't know what they all do. But yeah, that's the HS129B cockpit. Now we'll move on to Russia quickly. We've also got a bunch of new planes. First of all, we'll look at the OL9M, Yak 9M. Oh, sorry, had a very late night last night. I don't know if this. I think this is a long-range version of the Yak 9. I could be wrong though. It's got standard armor. I don't think it's got any modifications for bombs or anything. So again, it's just another premium Yak 9. Max speed 383. That's better than the Yak 9 T and K, but worse than the 9P and the 9U. So yeah, similar to the 9K, I believe. It's got a 20mm machine gun and one 12.7mm machine gun. Now, apparently Yak 9 T and K both got new models. I assume this means updated models, so we'll quickly take a look at them. I haven't actually got the Yak 9K unlocked, so I won't actually be able to tell the difference properly, but we'll have a look anyway. It does look a bit cleaner than most other aircraft. Again, I haven't got the Yak 9K. I don't think there's any actual other differences to it, but like I said, I haven't unlocked it, so there's nothing that really looks out of place to me. The Yak 9T, wrong button. Yak 9T I do have, but I haven't used for a long time. But we'll look at it again. I don't know, it does look cleaner than most other aircraft. I assume that may be from updating it or something, but again, I can't really tell for definite. I don't think there's any other changes. But yeah, it just looks like it's updated cosmetically. Now, we also got a bunch of new IL-2s. This IL-2 1942, I believe, replaced one of the IL-2s. You can see I've got it unlocked, but obviously it didn't have 1942 after, so I'm assuming it's been replaced. I didn't mean to test fly. Again, everything's unlocked except the DZ40, which gets me some extra bombs, the 250 kilogram bombs, which I think are new additions. Armour, I think armour's all about the same. It looks a bit updated, cosmetically again, and I think there's a bit of the camouflage may have been changed a little bit. I don't think the Black Sea Fleet actually changed anything before, which was a bit annoying. So I assume they've actually added that skin in now. Battle of Stalingrad. It looks a bit different. A bit on the tail. It's got that white line, which I don't think was there before. We'll move on to the next R2, which is the, if I can find it. Ah, here's the 1937 and the 1943. I thought that wasn't quite the same. Oh, the name change threw me off a little bit. So we look at the 1937. It's got Russian writing. I don't know if that's meant to be like that. Yeah, that's more like it. Yeah, I knew I was getting the wrong aircraft, but I couldn't quite work out where it was then. So let's just look at the armour. I don't know if the armour's been changed a bit. I don't know. Looks like it's been extended a bit. I don't know. Look at modifications. Yeah, not much in the way of bombs. Although, again, most other attack aircraft don't get bombs anyway. Offensive 37mm. How much ammo? Yeah, 100 rounds, like in the dev blog it said. Max speed 239 miles an hour. I don't know if the cockpit windows have been increased. Oh, I don't know. I don't know why I've got a feeling they've been changed a little bit. But yeah, at 239 miles an hour, it's quite a bit slower than some of the other R2s, I think. So that's going to be a bit of a problem in game for people, I assume. 1943 model. Again, I'm not sure what changes have actually been made here. Look at the modifications. Oh, it went really slow for a second there. Seems to have a standard bomb load. Seems to be quite standard. Speed 247. How's that to the other R2M? So it's a the other R2M. Oh yeah, there it is. So it's a bit slower than the Type 3. So yeah, the R2s are kind of confusing because there's so many of them now. But yeah, it doesn't seem to be too much different. Just seems to sort of lead on to the R2M Type 3. Yeah, I can't really notice much difference other than that. What else was added? Dolgoshin's LA7. Wait, max speed 421. Where's the other? So it's the normal LA7, rate of climb 18.5. So yeah, it's just basically a premium aircraft. So any information? Nope. Take a look at modifications just in case. Bomb load, which I think the normal LA7 takes. A bit of a unique camouflage, I think. Armour seems the same. I'll just check my normal LA7, which I actually have here, thankfully. Carries the same bombs, I believe. Yep, same bombs. And yeah, it's just basically a premium with different aircraft camouflage. Now the R28 got a new cockpit, but unfortunately I can't actually test it, so I won't be able to show you that, unfortunately. Move on to Britain. I think Britain got quite a few new aircraft in this patch. Oh god, that is a lot of aircraft. Sea Gladiator, 2 Sea Hurricanes, a Firefly Mark 1, Mark 5, lots of C5. Oh god, this is going to take forever. What have I let myself into? No. The Gladiator. Let's just compare stats with the normal one. Seems to be the same stats-wise, so I'm probably not going to test fly it, because I'm going to run out of time otherwise. Or it's going to turn into a huge old episode. But I'll preview it quickly. Seems to be the same armour, ammunition, weapons, that sort of stuff. It's basically a navalised Gloucester Gladiator. You can see the hook at the bottom. Doesn't come with any armour. Does it come with any... It doesn't even come with bombs or rockets like the normal Gladiator, so there's that. Sea Hurricane. Again, I'll check the stats of the normal Hurricane. Mark 1B. The Hurricane up here has been turned to the Mark 1 late, so I don't know if that means anything. 315. So it's a bit faster than the normal Hurricane Mark 2B. We haven't got but it seems to be about the same stats as the 1B. Oh god, all these names are it's just confusing me. Doesn't carry any bombs. Quickly preview it just to see what it looks like. So yeah, you can see it's got its unique camouflage. Got a bit of armour. I don't know if the normal Hurricane has that armour. I don't know if the cockpit looks a bit different. I'll compare it to the normal Hurricane really quickly. Really, really quick. Maybe it's just me, but the cockpit looks a bit different. Nope. Normal cockpit. Oh, maybe it's just where I haven't flown Hurricanes in a while. Look at the 1C. just to see how that is. Then looks the same more or less. It's got the C hook, like I assume the 1B had one as well. Okay, I clicked modifications and this is what came up. Yeah, click it again and okay. So 4 cannons. Okay, that I don't know why that's showing up like that, but there we go. Now the Firefly. I think this is going to be like a completely new one, I believe. Preview that. Like it's not like the Hurricanes and the Gladiator, which are navalised versions of the other aircraft. Now this doesn't actually have a tail gunner. I believe that's a navigator at the back. Check armour. Yep, just your usual bog standard armour. 4 20mm cannons. Oh, click the wrong button again. Modifications. Can carry up to 2 1,000-pound bombs or 8 rockets. Check the speed. 315 miles an hour. Don't know how well this is going to do actually. It looks really big and I don't know. I have a cumbersome is the word I'm looking for. It's actually labelled as a naval fighter/bomber. Look at the FR Mark V, which has the upgraded Hispano cannons, Mark V rather than Mark II. Faster speed, we'll quickly preview that. Check the modifications while that loads. Again, actually different modifications. It can take 16 rockets, or it can take bombs and rockets. So yeah, it's different in that way. So you can sort of, mix things up a little bit. Different camouflage. Armours looks about the same. Like I said, a bit faster, 344 miles an hour. Oh, some of that camouflage looks quite weird. Or like, I don't know, different. Looks quite good though. Go down to the Seafire. Now this is a Seafire Mark 17, which is a bit slower than the Spitfire Mark 16 and the Mark 9. So it's not quite. You can't quite compare them to their land-based variants. 2 20mm cannons and 4 Browning machine guns. Modifications can carry 3 250-pound bombs, 2 250-pound bombs, or 2 250-pound bombs and 1 500-pound bomb. Again, about 400 miles per hour max speed roughly. Quite a bit of armour, although most of it's just really thin. So it's not going to really protect you. Again, it just seems like a navalised Spitfire, but, hopefully it'll be quite useful. Again, Mark V Hispano cannons. FR-47 has 4 Hispano cannons, so they got rid of the machine guns, thank God. Modifications bomb-wise. Again, variety of bombs and rockets. 2 500-pound bombs, 8 rockets, 4 rockets, 2 250-pound bombs. Speed 435 miles an hour. Again, armour, but very thin. Roughly the same place as the last aircraft. So we'll go back from there. I'm sort of rushing through this so it doesn't take forever. I'll be here for a long time if I look at all of these for a long time. Now the Sea Fury FB11, 450 miles an hour. I believe this is actually one of the fastest propeller-based aircraft in the world. It's the last propeller aircraft to serve the Royal Navy. Again, armour is standard, modifications. Again, a variety of bombs, 12 rockets, 2 500-pound bombs, 2 250-pound bombs. Looks very good. I will have to go up through this line now, which is going to take forever, but I think this will be a very good Tier 4 aircraft. Battle rating of 5.7, compared to the Griffin ones, which are like between 5 and where's the last one? 5 and 6. So should be a quite good aircraft. Now, lastly, is a new jet, the Attacker FB1. We'll preview that. Oh, we've actually got information on this. Oh, that's we don't usually have information on this on new aircraft. Usually not for quite a few months or even years. This just gives information about the Attacker FB1. I didn't actually mean to click this. I won't read through it. It doesn't give information about the aircraft. In game, it doesn't, or how it will work in game. Bombs: 2 1,000-pound bombs, 2 500-pound bombs, 12 rockets. Hispano Mark V cannons again. Armour again quite standard. Can't really notice anything else. Quite a lot of fuel behind the pilot. 573 miles per hour top speed. So faster than the Van Posten and the Canberra, just about. So yeah, it's quite a good aircraft. I'm definitely going to want to get to that one. It's just going to, it's going to take me forever because of all these aircraft at the beginning, unfortunately. Now we also got 2 premium aircraft: the Plager Spitfire Mark 9 and the Pendergrass Spitfire FR Mark. I don't think we've got a Mark 14 in game at the moment. We've got a Mark 16 and a Mark 9, but not a 14. So I'll look at that first. Speed 448 miles an hour, which is similar. It's closer to the Griffin aircraft. Oh yeah, we have got a Mark 14Es up here. So I assume it's going to be the same stats-wise, roughly, as with most other aircraft. Is there any information? No information. Modifications: carries a 500-pound bomb, 2 20mm cannons, and 2 12.7mm Browning machine guns. Yeah, I haven't got this far on the Spitfire lineup. This non-premium version, so I can't tell how good this is, but it does look like a nice aircraft. Again, it's premium, so that's going to cost you about... Oh, it's a bundle. A lot of these are bundles. I don't know how you're going to unlock them. Now, the Mark 9 here is actually... it's an LF. That will explain the difference. Here's the normal LF. 389V 389. So again, same stats-wise. Check modifications again. Again, 250-pound bomb. Armour standard. It'll be, again, it's the premium. I can't, it's the same as the normal non-premium version. We'll take a quick look at the Canberra, because I believe it gets a cockpit. Bomb view camera disabled. There's one of our pilots back there. I'm trying to click the damage model button, because I did think it might be added into this, the X-ray view, but apparently it's not been added. So yeah, there's the cockpit. There's a door down there. We're quite high up. All the instruments are over here. Turn the engine sound right down because it has a habit of causing quite a lot of sound disturbance. I don't know what that hole is for. I don't know why you'd need to open that. Yeah, I'm not going to fly this I'm not going to fly it at all because I'm going to have to try and keep this to some sort of reasonable time length. Now, quickly moving on to the Japanese, there's 2 new aircraft. There's the Ki-21 up here, and the J2M2 here. So we'll look at the J2M2 first. Should that really be this far down? It's the same as the A6M2s. The J2M3 is tier 4, and this is tier 2, and battle rating 3. It's lower battle rating than the A6M2, so I don't get this. Okay, well, we'll look at it. I have no idea why it's that low. It's 406 miles an hour. Is there a mistake here or something? Alright, it carries normal bomb load. Look at armour. Okay, I'm going to test fly this, because I've looked at... Where is it compared to... This can't be right. It's nearly 100 miles faster than everything else on its tier, or Japanese-wise. I've got to test fly this quickly, because there's no way that is the correct tier or battle rating. There's no way a 400 mile per hour aircraft should be in bloody tier 2. How does this even work? Right, so here's the J2M2. Again, I've turned the engine sound right down, but it may be coming out quite louder than what I'm hearing it. The computer seems to act a bit weird with engine sounds. Right, we're just going to take off. Here's the cockpit. I didn't even check how much ammo it carries. I was just so shocked at how low this was. I mean, actually, I suppose it is quite slow accelerating, but got quite a lot of... I don't know, we're starting to pick up some speed now. I don't usually play low tiers with these sorts of aircraft, but we're already at nearly 200 miles an hour. Surely that shouldn't be... I don't know, like I said, I don't usually play low down tier, so I don't know what sort of acceptable speed the other aircraft have, but we're at nearly 300 miles per hour, well, 250 after like 30 seconds of taking off. How's manoeuvrability? It's quite manoeuvrable. Rate of climb. Again, it seems to climb fairly well. I don't know how. I don't know. It seems really low battle rating and tier for me. I don't mind the tier being low, but when the battle rating's low as well, it doesn't make sense. I don't know. I'm sort of at a loss for words for once. But what was the armament? Two 20mm cannons and two 7.7mm machine guns. So, okay, guns in the world, but still, that was ridiculous. Now here's the KI-21. No armour, and 3 machine guns. I believe this is a double-barreled machine gun. One here at the front, and... there's the other one down there. Now look at modifications. Again, it seems a bit underwhelming bomb-wise, but you know, it should be decent enough for its tier. Battle rating 1.7. 268 miles an hour. So faster than the H6K and about the same as the D3A1. It looks like an okay aircraft, but you know, I think it may. I don't know. It seems really bad defensive-wise, and I'm not really sure. I don't think it'll do. I think it'll be okay, but it's not something I'm particularly, rushing to unlock. Now I'm going to end this episode here, so I can just focus the next episode on tanks. Now, you may get some test flights, you may not. It depends, when the dev server closes. There isn't actually a set time for it closing today, as far as I'm aware. So you may get some test flights. It depends how long the tanks take and whether the dev server's open afterwards. We've already seen the stats for the planes. We haven't seen the stats for tanks yet. So if I did planes, then test flights, and then ran out of time for doing tanks, it just, it wouldn't be very fair, really. So I'm going to do it that way. I'll also be looking at the patch 1.49 patch notes, or preliminary patch notes, but it'll probably be in my patch 1.49 roundup series, where I just sort of collect all the information from the patch and put it into one episode or a few episodes. So I'll be looking at the patch notes there. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed the episode. Leave a like if you like the episode, subscribe if you like these sorts of videos. Leave feedback, could always do with more feedback. Yeah, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.